like behind the scenes stories that you like sharing from like a movie or a TV show?
Oh yeah, this crazy story of like, and then and you wouldn't believe it when, and the craziest thing that happened, craziest moment of my life. First of all, I want to say thank you for your presence and for your patience. I was in the back meeting and talking to some people that had arranged for a VIP meet. I want to thank you very much for being patient. We're going to talk with you today, not at you. I know you got questions. I got answers. We're going to try to rapid fire this S, so let's get it going. Over here, let's go. Talk to me.
What has been your toughest rivalry up to date?
Toughest rivalry up to date. I got that question asked earlier today, and I answered it with a question of like, hey, what do you think is my toughest rivalry to date? It's tough, right? You're thinking of Randy Orton. Okay, that's a good answer. I'll go with that. Randy Orton.
Do you have any like behind the scenes stories that you like sharing from like a movie or a TV show?
Oh yeah, this crazy story of like, and then and you wouldn't believe it when, and the craziest thing that happened, craziest moment of my life, bar none. Thank you so much.
So here's my question. It seemed like I saw a clip where you were mentioning you like raw digger and cannabis and all this stuff, and you seemed to talk like you had been to a lot of cookouts. So I'm wanting to know, like, yeah, look, I'm being for real with you. So I want to know, when were you around a lot of black folk, man? Because there was a way you talked that just seemed organic and not gimmicky, and I was wanting to know where it was around. I know it's a weird question, but I'm just being real with you.
No. Like snap judgment is a great thing, right? We're all human beings. We all have it. So you can't look at someone and not project a judgment of who you think they are.
Yeah.
I grew up in a town called West Newbury, Massachusetts that had 1,200 people and was 99.9% repeating white. So growing up, I did not have a lot of diversity. Yeah. When did I start to get exposed to diversity in my life? I was lucky enough to go to dormitory school out in Western Massachusetts called Cushing Academy. Only 450 students. My roommate, TJ Norris, was from Compton. Kid on the second floor of Alumni Hall, Josh Lobo, was from New York. So I got exposed to a lot of diversity and a lot of culture through that. And ever since I was like 15, 16, instead of having to fight uphill about like, I listen to hip hop and everybody in West Newbury being like, that's not what we listen to. I walked into a safe space where we would have battles about like, who's better, Tribe Called Quest or Snoop?
That's my guy right there.
Right around a very important time in my life where you're developing as an adolescent, at about 15 years old is when I got exposed to more culture.
That's what's up.
Great question. Right over here. We're working now. All right, here we go.
Which of your WrestleMania entrances is your favorite and why?
Man, I like this last one because it was super plain. It was like, I started doing the funky WrestleMania entrances because like nobody was. I remember my first WrestleMania main event for a world championship was against JBL. And he came out in a limousine and he dropped money with his face on it. And we rehearsed his entrance and I'm looking at this going like, this is fantastic. And I turned to him, I go, where's my entrance? Deadpan. He turns to me, he goes, you're winning. That's enough. But I really liked the spectacle he made of the entrance. So I was like, man, if nobody's doing special stuff, that's WrestleMania. That's an event that is a big ask for you as a fan. I wanted to make it special and unique. And now tons of people do special and unique entrances. So this year I just wanted to flip it and go like as bare bones simple as I could. So I like this one. I gotta take that back. Sorry, gotta take that back. I had a chance to bring 50 kids from the Make-A-Wish Foundation on the stage for WrestleMania. There's nothing like the view out of the tunnel when you look at the stadium and it's just bananas. So the fact I got to share that moment with some close friends that day, that was pretty big up too. Right over here.
Have you ever felt extraordinarily low self-confidence in yourself? And what would you say to somebody who does feel extraordinarily low self-confidence or a negative image in themselves?
Okay, I'll give you the hybrid. That's a great one. I'm a human being, of course. If we've all felt beat up, we've all felt low self-esteem, we've all felt those moments of weakness. I'm a human, we all go through that. Words of advice, just remember you're worthy of love. Like you are here, you made it, you got great qualities that brought you here today. Just try to lean into those and lean into the love around you. You got it.
Thank you.
How we doing out there? We working all right? I know we're trying to rifle through these things, but I want everybody to be heard. Everybody doing okay. We got a referee in the house. Was that against the rules or am I good? That's all right?
I am trying to be a ref. So, but my question is for Peacemaker, actually.
Sure.
So, the end, I hope I'm not spoiling for anybody, but at the very end, when you come out and you see all the DC people.
Yes.
Did you pop any of them when you told Jason Momoa to go, freak? Did you? I can't really say the words as kids here, but
we're dancing around a lot of stuff here. Peacemaker is an adult show, and our audience is.
Can I go ahead and say what you said?
Hell no, you can't.
Oh, okay, all right.
We got kids in the crowd.
That's why I asked. You know what I'm talking about, then?
Yeah, of course. When I went up to Aquaman and said, "Go coitus a fish."
Yes, okay.
That's the language we use here to get that point across. That makes the point across.
How many takes did it take?
It was like 4:30 in the morning, so we only did it a few times, but it was funny every time.
I saw everybody pop, so that's why I asked.
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being.
Be safe out there too.
Hello, Mr. Cena. Recently, I was in an accident, and never give up has kept me going through my rehab and so forth. Been really significant to me. What's a quote or saying that keeps you going daily?
Good question. I don't know if it's a saying. I don't know if I lean on a mantra or a saying. I very much lean into gratitude. I can't tell you how many of you, I'm so grateful for y'all, but how many of you guys who are standing in line for so long, when you had a chance to come up and share a moment with me, the one thing you led with was, man, you must be exhausted. You're the one standing in line. You're the one getting up early to get to the convention center to make the most out of this moment. And the moment you want to share with me is, man, you must be exhausted. I'm so grateful for moments like that, because even if I'm a little bit tired, for someone else who's been through just as much, if not more, and using their resources to do it is like, hey, man, you must be exhausted. That makes me feel good. So I don't know if it's a mantra, but I sure as hell lean into gratitude and know that I'm grateful to be surrounded by such great people. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, John. You might not remember this with all the acting gigs you've done lately, but do you remember being in the Fred movies?
Yeah, sure. I'm Fred's dad.
What was the most memorable time you've had making them?
Living in the refrigerator. Because there were such low budget movies, they literally just got an old refrigerator, and that smelled like an old refrigerator. And I had to close the door and stay in there and come out, and it was like in a junkyard. I remember the smell and the yellow paint on the fridge like it was yesterday. Yes, absolutely.
In your opinion, what do you like doing more, wrestling or acting?
That's a great question. What would you think?
Acting, because in wrestling you get hurt.
Whew, wow. Acting, they hurt your feelings a lot too, though. I don't know if you've seen some of my stuff or read the reviews. They will hurt your feelings. To be quite honest, and this is not a knock, I don't think this is going to lose me any movie jobs, because I do give my all to every opportunity I have. Just like we're here today, I'm trying to answer all your questions. I love wrestling so much more. So much more. There's no denying the magic in an arena for a live WWE broadcast. I love wrestling so much more, and I'm fine saying that. And if that knocks me out of the movie business, I'll be accountable for saying that. But that's a great question.
Hi, thank you so much for being here. I was wondering just your personal opinion, if the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson match was real or not.
If the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson match was real or not?
Or was staged, kind of, because there's a lot of controversy on that.
So here's what I do know. I didn't see the fight. I also think that I'm a biased person to answer this question because I'm a lifelong sports entertainer. So I don't want to put my bias into this question. What I do know is that it was an event that I was excited about. I wasn't able to see it, but I knew about it beforehand, and I was excited about it. So I think therein lies the magic. Mm-hmm. And whether it was legitimate or staged, as long as you can keep the magic, then you did something good. You know, I don't follow boxing, but I knew about it, and I think that says something special for those two. So that's my stance on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, right on. Let's go over here. Yep.
This isn't a super like heartfelt question, but I was wondering, out of all the memes about you, which one is like your favorite?
Man, you know you're giving me like 1,000 to choose from. A couple folks brought ice cream cones today. Digging the Bing Chiling. Was she want Bing Chiling? Was she want Bing Chiling? I like the Are you sure about that one's pretty cool. The old salmon blazer dance routine is pretty cool. Man, there's so many out there. I realize that I have become a meme. It sucks. It's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. All right, let's
Hello,
go.
John.
Yep.
So obviously, wrestlers are on the road a lot. Do you have a favorite partner that you were on the road with?
Do I have a favorite partner? Oh yeah, my wife. No, for real, man. Yeah, so here's the thing, and I'll lean it like that's the obvious low-hanging fruit, but I'm gonna lean into that answer, right? I met my wife 6 years ago. We've been married for 5 years. She's an engineer. She's the brains of the family. She can do some complicated things with her mind that I don't get. She has to talk to me in caveman speak. But she didn't know anything about wrestling. Nothing. She knew me from the movie Sisters. She knew me as Pazuzu. She went on a date with Pazuzu. But she didn't know anything about wrestling. And I didn't want to hide that part of my life, because for so long, quite honestly, I kept that as a safe space for me to go when everything else went wrong. So when we started getting serious, I said, yo, you are coming to the shows, and I want you to travel, and I want you to do, she was on Summer of Cena, so she got to do like a real loop of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday live event, Monday television, fly home. And she got worn out by the travel. She's been in the room like writing promos and hearing how match goes together, and she's always ringside, so she gets to like see how the sauce is made and then go out and see the execution. And because she's my favorite partner, now if she isn't there for a show and I can say, oh man, we spent all day writing this thing and it sucked, she knows what that feels like. Or if it's like, hey, I took this bump and this was kind of janky, she's taken bumps in the ring and she knows what that feels like. So she's my favorite partner because if I'm having a good or bad day, I now have the empathy of the person I love the most to be like, I understand that because you've brought me into your world. That's why she's my favorite road partner.
Hello, John. Nice to see you. I have a question, and if it's too hard, like, you don't have to answer it. What is your favorite Star Wars movie? If it's too tough, again, you don't have to answer.
Tough room, dog.
Yes, sir.
Tough room.
Yes, sir.
Man. Yikes. I don't think there's a right answer. I think I'm gonna get bum rushed by everybody. So I will say I have wonderful moments from Star Wars.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, one of my most impactful Star Wars moments is actually from episode 1. I'm just, that one I'm gonna keep with me. I'm not gonna let you know, but it's a very impactful one. What I love about the Star Wars movies is it truly is like Campbell's A Hero's Journey. It really, they do a great job with storytelling. Actually, because of that, I would like to say Empire Strikes Back.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I think everyone in this room will probably have their opinion and give their answer of why. I think it's brave to do a whole movie and not have the ending you want. Commit that it is a piece of the journey. Like, you want to talk about long-term storytelling, setting a movie up as a standalone piece of like, yo, this is the middle, and we're cool with that. I thought that was very brave at the time, and I still remember it as a kid. So I'm going with that one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hi, from a interview that you did a few years ago.
Yeah.
You talked about how you like K-pop.
Yes.
What's your favorite K-pop song?
So, man, I gotta say, because I don't want to, again, I gotta speak truthfully and authentically. K-pop is, so J-Hope is my guy, but I don't necessarily like K-pop. I gravitated towards BTS. And it, honestly, like, it's amazing music. The dance routines are flawless. They look so beautiful. What I loved is people who looked and acted like they had it all, being open with their emotions and telling other people to start practicing self-love. And that hit me at a time in my life where I needed to practice some self-love. So like we hit it off on a personal level. And since then we've connected with each other, we've shot videos, I've seen them, I've never seen one of their shows, but I don't want to speak unauthentically and untruthfully. If I get a chance to listen to music when I'm alone, I rarely listen to music. It is old blues and outlaw country. But what K-pop, what BTS specifically did for me is they found me at a right time in my life to give me hope and inspiration through who they are as people. And that's like, hey, you never know who you can reach. They reached a 48-year-old dude who was struggling with self-worth, and I appreciate him for that. That's a great question. We got one more question. All right, final question.
Are you ever going to be associated with the MCU?
Man, this kid knew he was last, didn't he? Yikes. You, sir, just became a man. So, I don't know who goes to these conventions, but if anybody in the MCU is in the room, I hope they heard that question and heard what I heard of like, man, we'd like to see John Cena as a Marvel superhero. Thank you for the applause. I know we all love a good rivalry, right? Here's what I know about comics and superheroes. They run parallel to sports entertainment fans. The fandom and the passion that I see in the superhero universe, whether it's DC or Marvel, reminds me of passionate WWE fans. Here is my vision. Here is my hope for the future. Everybody plays nice in the same sandbox. I would love Iron Man to shake hands with Superman. Like, I would love to see all superheroes across all platforms be involved in a universe. So if that happens and I get my wish as a member of the DC, I would essentially walk into the MCU. I don't write the checks and make the parts. So right now, my answer's gotta be no. But I hope there is a world where I see all these passionate people come for comics and superheroes. I hope we can have different debates because everyone it'll just give us more stories to tell and more creativity. And I know I'm gonna get punched in the face by critics for saying this, but my long-term vision is we can tell stories with characters from both sides of the fence. Can't we all just get along and make some good comic books and good stories? And on that note, what a hell of a question to end with. That's my time, folks. Thank you so much. You're my last stop of the day. It's been great. Love you guys. Thank you.